Yes, I'm going to start. Just a second. Just say yes if you can hear me and see me clearly. If everything is fine, I'll get started. Just let me know if everything is fine. Yes, thank you. So we are going to discuss about lines and linear relationships. We just discussed what do we discuss more about? We discuss lines on a graph, how do they behave and all. That's it. This is all we discuss. Let's start with slope. So first of all, what do you mean by a slope? Slope is nothing but is a measure of how steep a line is on graph. That's what a slope means. You see, like how bent, how curvy, like how slopey the line is on the graph. That's what a slope means. So how do we measure it? It tells us how much y value changes for every 1 unit change in x value. So how do we find slope? Change in y by change in x will tell us how steep the line is, how slopey it is. So here there are few things about slope again. Just I can't say more than this about slope. Slope is a measure of how steep this line is. This is what is the slope of? It's like how steep it is, how bend, how slopey it is. That's what the slope. And to measure that, to measure it, we check check change in y by change in x. That's what we do. Change in y by change in x. Like rise over run will give us slope. How much there is a change in y to the change in x. That gives us slope. This is the only way to find slope, how steepy the slope is. And we say that y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. Let's say, what is the slope of this line? Let's say there is a point x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2. So now the slope of the line, slope for this line is y2 minus y1. Change in y. You just move from here to here, rise. It's like rise. How much change in y? From here to here, change in y, which is from y2 to y1, how much change, divided by change in x. That's it. That gives us slope. Let's say what is the slope of some random line. Let's say point 2 comma 3, and here it is 6 comma 9. So what is the slope of this? So x2, I mean sorry, y2, change in y. What is the change in y? It is yes, change in y is this. So from which point? From it's 9 minus 3, that is change in y. y2, let's see if you consider this is x1 and this is y1, this is x2 and this is y2. So y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. What is x2? 6. 6 minus 2, x1. So that's going to be 9 minus 3 is 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. Now you can still cross out this. 2 3s, 2 2s. So that's 3 by 2. Here you need to understand what does this 3 by 2 mean is. You need to understand that 3 by 2 slope tells us for every 3 units how much, it tells us how much y value changes for every 1 unit change in x value. For every 3 units change in y, there is a 2 units change in x. What does that mean? For every 3 by 2, for every 3 units change in y, 1, 2, 3 units, there is 2 units change in x. So this is, the slope says this, which means this is the steepness of the slope. For every 3 units, if you just want to continue it. 1, 2, 3. For every 3 units of y, 2 units of x. That's how it goes. That's how we get a slope. That's what slope. If you check the line of this, you continuously get slope same everywhere on the line. It's not going to change. This is all about slope. Now coming to when slope is positive, when slope is negative, when slope is 0, when slope is undefined. Like when you see, how do we actually measure slope of a line? We just take rise over run, which is again a change in y. Rise means like change in y, from y value change in y divide by change in x. That's what we get a slope. So here, if rise is nothing but positive, run is also positive, like upward positive, right side positive. So numerator positive, denominator positive, you get a positive slope. If rise, let's say here there is, what about the rise? If you take rise is like this, which is positive, upward positive, moving leftward is negative. So rise is positive, run is negative, then positive by negative is negative. So this is how a negative slope look like. And slope is also same as rise by run. Rise is nothing but change in y only. Run is nothing but change in x only. There is no change. Hope you are getting my point. And if you see, what is the rise and run for this? You have only rise. Okay, you can rise at some point. But what is the run? There is no run. It is 0. There is no run for this. If you want for this, rise and run is available for this. Even for this, rise and run available for this. For this, there is no run. So rise over run is 0. That's why it's an undefined slope. And if you consider this one, there is no rise. There is no rise. 0 rise. That's why it's 0. And run is, there is run. If you keep positive run, then it's going to be 0 by something. It's always a 0. So that's how, this is how a 0 slope look like. This is how a undefined slope look like. Positive slope moves bottom to top right, and negative slope moves down, top left to the bottom. These are the things. If a slope is positive, then it goes upward. You see, this is moving upward. If a slope is negative, the line goes downward. If slope is 0, the line is horizontal. You can see here, the line is horizontal. If a slope is undefined, line is vertical. I think you are getting it. This is all about slope. Now coming to example, if a line passes through these 2 points, it's so easy. If a line passes through 2, 3 and 4, 7. So what is the slope of this? So this is x1, y1, x2, y2. So if that is the case, just substitute into the slope formula. What do we have? Change in y. Change in y is what? 7 minus 3, y2 minus y1. 7 minus 3. 7 minus 3 divided by 4 minus 2, which give us 2. What this 2 is saying? Slope is 2. What does this slope is 2? In the denominator nothing is there, means 1 is there still, which is change in y by change in x. What does this 2 by 1 says? For every 1 step right side, and we got positive slope. For every step right side, the line goes 2 steps upward. So for every step right side, the line goes 2 steps upward. This is how the slope looks like, and you can connect all this. This is how the line moving with. Hope you got it. For every 1 step right, the line moving 2 steps up. For every 1 step right, the line moving 2 steps up. In the complete line, the slope is same. This is what the whole concept of slope is. I think it's super clear. I just gave you what all I can for the slope. Don't get confused. Slope is nothing but the steepness. We just say straight line. This is also a straight line, like the horizontal line, vertical line, and this is the inclined line. For this, how do we measure the what do you say that how much steepy it is? That's what the slope says all about. And slope, the better, I will say, for every 1 step right side, which is 1 step of x, there is a change in 2 steps of y upward. This is what all slope says to us. How much steepy? 1 step right, 2 steps up, that much steepy. Done with slope. This is all not required as of now. You just have to remember slope is nothing but change in x, change in y by change in x. That gives you complete thing in this thing. Like while solving it, you don't need all this this much of thing. You just have to apply the slope formula and get the value of slope. Yes. Yes, now coming to the lines in xy plane represent function f of x equals to mx plus b, which are nothing but linear functions. Yes, we already know that these are linear functions. This is how a linear function looks like. Why does it? Why do we think that this is a linear function? F of x that equals to mx plus b, because f of x is nothing but y only. Y equals to mx plus b. If you let's say the equation is something like this: y equals to 2x plus 3. 2x plus 3. So if you substitute x equals to 1, what happens? If x equals to 1, y equals to 2 plus 3, 5. If you substitute x equals to 2, what do you get? Y equals to 4 plus 3, 7. If you substitute x equals to 3, you get y equals to 6 plus 3, 9. So if you take all these x and y points, 1, 5, 2, 7, 3, 9, and plot it on a graph, like 1, 5, let's say, and 2, 7, let's say, and then 3, 9, let's say, you get a straight line like this, and it is linear, like it's a line. That's why these kind of functions are called linear functions. You hope you already know what you mean by function. We just did it in a previous chapter. Function is nothing but if you give an input, you get an output. That's what a function means. And this is a linear function. Now slope of a line, you're already aware of this. Now let's see what they are telling to us. The slope is a measure of steepness of line. You already know that. Steepness, like this, how bendy and how this one it is. The larger the slope, the more steep the line is. The rise is distance between the y coordinate and run is distance between the x coordinate. Rise is distance between the y coordinate, run is distance between the x coordinate. And you can see it, this is already discussed. Let's say here, negative 2 by 3 means that the line goes 2 units down. This is about up and down numerator. It is dealing with y, change in y. Negative 2 represents 2 units down for every 3 units of x right. So 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit. So for every 2 units down, it goes 3 units right. So if you keep on go like that, you get a line. Just like the way we did it in the previous one, which is 2 by 1. There is no much difference for that and this. And you can see clearly this one, positive slope is moving upward, negative slope moving downward. Hope you know when we get a positive slope and a negative slope. We already discussed about that. Now, the line shown in the xy plane passes through point 0, 0. Yes, it is passing through 0, 0. And the point a, b, where a greater than b, a value is greater than b here. Okay, which of the following could be the slope of this line? First of all, we have this one. Let's say here, what is the slope of this? We have 2 points. Obviously, one is origin 0, 0 and the other one is this. So what is slope? Slope equals to y2 minus change in y by change in x. y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. x1, y1, x2, y2. So what is y2? B minus 0 divided by a minus 0. That equals to b by a. What we got? B by a. Slope is b by a. They are asking us to find what is the, which of the following could be the slope of the line. We just found the slope, which is positive slope we got. We no need to do the slope also, like to find the slope. By watching this line, we can say that this is a positive slope. It's moving upward. So now, obviously eliminate option A because it is a negative slope. And here they mentioned b by a. We got slope b by a. And in this, what they mentioned here, a value is greater than b. If you go with option B, if you consider this is b by a value must be greater. Is it true? Is it okay with the condition a value is greater? Yes, 4 is greater than 3. Yes, option B is true. If you go with option C, here B and A both are equal. It's not obeying the condition what we have here. And 3 B by A. So again, A is smaller here. No, that's not option. We have to look for A greater than B, which is option B only. The line M passes through the point this and this in the xy plane. If the slope of line M is 3, what is the value of K? So here we have 2 points. Let's consider them as x1, y1, x2, y2. That K minus 4, x2, y2. Now, if the slope of a line M is 3, they clearly mention slope equals 3. And we have 2 points as well. And we have to find K value is how much? So how can we find the value of K? What is slope? First of all, slope formula is what? Slope equals to change in y by change in x. So what is slope we have? They already given 3. And what is y2? y2 is a K minus 4. Minus what is y1? Which is 7. What is x2? x2 is 3, x1 is k. 3 minus k. So I just multiply 3 with 3 minus k, and that equals to k minus 4 minus 7. 9 minus 3k equals to k minus 7. Let's try to keep all these k terms one side and constant terms one side to get the value of k. So I just move this negative 7 to RHS, and I move this negative 3k to negative 7 to LHS and negative 3k to RHS. Then they become 9 plus 7, that equals to k plus 3k. So that's going to be 4k and 16 equals to 4k. 4 ones, 4 fours. K value equals to 4. This is how we got the value of k. Hope this is clear. Let me know if this is clear. There is no sound from you from the long time. Just type clear if this is clear. Yes, you are there. Okay, now in addition to slope, you also need to know what x and y intercepts are. You already studied about x and y intercepts in the functions very clearly. What do you mean by x-intercept? X-intercept means line crossing x-axis. That's x-intercept. At x-intercept, y value must be 0. What is y-intercept? Line crossing y-axis. So at y-intercept, x value is 0 and you have a y value. That is the thing. You already learned it. Now, they given this equation and we have to find the value of, we have to find x-intercept for this. What does that mean? Y value 0 and you get the x value. And you are trying to find y-intercept for the same equation. So how you are going to get that? Just y-intercept means what? X value is 0. Substitute x value 0 here and you get the value of y, just doing some basic calculation. Now the function f is defined by f of x that equals to 3x plus 12. What is the x-intercept of the graph? Y equals to, graph of y equals to f of x in the xy plane. So they are asking us what? X-intercept. X-intercept means what? Y value is 0. You can see in the options y values are all 0. Y equals to 0. What is x value? So you just have to forward this to LHS. So negative 12 by 3. Negative 12 by 3, negative 4 is the answer. So 0, 4 is the answer. Just a second. Yes, what equation they given to us? They given y equals to 3x plus 12. Yes, they given y equals 3x plus 12. So what they are asking us to find? They are asking us to find x-intercept. So you just check the graph, no need to solve also. If you check the graph, x-intercept, at x-intercept y value is 0. So you need to, x-intercept means where the line crossing x-axis. Line crossing at this point, which is negative 4, 0. You can just put that equation and check where the line crossing at x-axis, that will be your solution. What happened? Hello. Yes, so hope you understood. Let me know if this is clear in both ways. It's better to go with math only instead of going with this Desmos thingy. Even you get with the help of Desmos, where you just have to check where it is crossing x-axis because you are looking for x-intercept and you get negative 4, 0. Yes. Let's do, now we are into point slope form. Slope intercept form and point slope form. So we are into slope intercept form and point slope form. What is this? Slope intercept form and point slope form. This is like a corollary. What does this corollary mean? We get this equation and we got this equation and we are calling this equation as slope-intercept form, and we're calling this equation as point-slope form. Both are derived from the same formula, slope. From the slope only we got this equation. From the slope formula only we got this equation as well. There is no change. What is slope formula? Y minus y1 by x minus x1, or y2 minus y1 x2 minus x1. It doesn't matter, both are same. So here, whenever the line crosses y-axis, what do we know? When line crosses y-axis, x equals to 0 and you get a y point something, we just consider b. Now if you input this y-intercept into the slope, what do you get? If you input y-intercept, y1 is b and this x1 is 0. That's what I input and I got this. M equals to y minus b by x. Now y minus b by x, I multiplied this with m. So that's going to be y minus b equal to mx, y equals to mx plus b. This is how we got slope-intercept form. Here we are using intercept, y-intercept only. That's why we call this as slope-intercept form. And here there is nothing we did for this. This is slope formula. You already know that. Just multiplied this m times the denominator and you got this thing. You can check it. M times this denominator, you got this. Y minus y1 equals to m into x minus x1. Both slope-intercept form and point-slope form are derived from the same formula, which is slope. There is no change. But and what is the difference here? Here the difference is, here you are using you use this slope-intercept form when it is y-intercept point only. The point where the line crosses y-axis, then only you use this slope-intercept form. But point-slope form, you are going to use any point. What does that any point mean? It may be x-intercept, it may be midpoint, it may be any point on the line. You see here, in slope-intercept form, we use it for only y-intercepts. You can see y-intercept. But here it's not like that. We use it for x-intercept or any point on the line. To get an equation, we use point-slope form. There is no difference. These both are slopes only. Both are slopes only, but we are calling it with the different names. They are derived from the slopes. If you substitute here y-intercept, you get slope-intercept form. This is actually a slope only. If you can substitute any point here to get a equation. That's it. That's the difference. There is no more thing to discuss about point slope. And when to use slope-intercept? When they're given y-intercept and you want to form an equation, you can directly use this. Like y-intercept, and whenever they're given point and a slope in the question, you use point slope form. Point given, then use point slope form. Intercept given, then use slope intercept form. That's it. So you can see here clearly, you can see slope intercept form when to use. Is used when slope and y-intercept of the line are known. You use slope intercept form. When a slope and any point, if you know while solving the question, then you use point slope form. Like any point, maybe x-intercept, midpoint, or any other point. So slope intercept form starts with slope and y-intercept. Point slope form starts with slope and any point. And yeah, I think I just said you everything about the slope intercept form and the point slope form. And yes, all lines can be expressed in slope intercept form. So you can see here, you already know what is slope intercept form and how we got this slope intercept form. Also, you know how we got this. Taking the slope, and in the slope, if you substitute y-intercept, you are going to get this. Y-intercept means x equal to 0 and b. If you substitute that into the slope, it will be formed into this way. This is what slope intercept form. Now, where m is the slope, b is y-intercept, slope, and b is the y-intercept. Why do we call this b as y-intercept? Because x equals to 0, what you are getting? y-intercept only, right? Y equals to y-intercept. So now, so for line this, the slope is 1 by 2. This is in the place of m. M is the slope. And in the place of m, 1 by 2 is there and slope is 1 by 2. And y-intercept is -1. That's it, 1 by 2. And you can see here, 1 by 2. The change in y is 1. Rise. For every 1 step upward, the slope moving 2 steps right side. That's what the slope here. Now you can see clearly about the point slope form. The same thing, they will give you a point and they give you a slope. And the equation of the line in point slope form is just substitute the slope, and whatever the point you have, substitute it. You get the point slope form equation. That's how you can get an equation. At the end, if you solve, you get an equation like this, which again looks like a slope-intercept form only. But there is a difference. Hope you are getting it. When to use point slope form? They will give you clearly point. Use point slope form. When to use slope intercept form? They will give you slope and y-intercept clearly. Then you will use slope intercept form. Moving ahead, you will understand. I just want to know that is this clear how I approach this equation? Are you okay with this point slope form? Just say fine if it is fine. Use word fine, F-I-N-E. Fast, man. Okay, don't use S because yes, use a different word from comment to comment. Yes, coming to this question, what is an equation of the graph shown? For that, first of all, you need to go and check the slope. What is slope? Slope is moving downward and 2 steps right. If it is moving downward, rise is downward, which means negative, and run is positive. Rise is, the change in y is -1. Slope equals to -1 and run is 1 and 2. That is 2. -1 by 2 is the slope. So which option has -1 by 2? Only option C has slope. Y equals to mx plus c is the slope. So in the place of m, there is -1 by 2 for only option C. For option D, it's not same. It's +1 by 2. No. If you're clear with how I wrote slope, that's fine. If you don't know what is the way here, you need to understand this is the point of that is x is 0, y is 3, and the point of this is x is 2, y is 2. So if 0, 3 and 2, 2, use the slope now. y2 minus x1, y1, x2, y2. y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. What is y2? 2 and y1 3 divided by x2 2 minus 0, that is -1 by 2. Same, you can do it directly from the graph as well. You just need to move your y1 from the point, from on the y-axis you just take, or anywhere you take it. If you take it from here point, or it's better to take here. So here to here 1 and right side it's moving 2. You can take anywhere you want. You see here, if I take it somewhere like this, for every change in y of 1 unit, change x is 2 units. How do I know that it is 2 units? Because here it's not properly matched. I don't want to stop here because it's not matching properly. From point to point you need to check. That is the thing. If you take let's say Yeah, if you take this point, it is going this much and this much. You see some extra is there here, 1.5, and it is something like 3. For every 1.5, it is 3 units moving right. Instead of that, it's better to take 1. For every 1 unit, it's moving 2 units to the right. This is how we do it on a graph. That's how we get rise over run on a graph. Just a second. I'll just put it back. Yes, this is better. Is that clear how I am doing this on a graph? How I'm taking this rise and run. Here rise is nothing but change in y. Change in y is this. Change in x is this. From one point of the line to another point of the line, draw like this. And if you are moving downward, it is negative. If you are moving rightward, it is positive. Instead of that, if you are moving upward, it is positive. If you are moving leftward, it is negative. So using these symbols, you need to take the change in x and the change in y. Now let's go for the next one. Example 5. The line L passes through points -2, 3. What is the y coordinate of the y? So here they're given 2 points and they are saying what is the y intercept of line. If you have 2 points, what will be the y intercept? What do you mean by that? If you have 2 points here, one is -2, 3 and the other point is 3, 13, you can able to get slope from this. These are the points. The line is passing through these 2 points, which means you can able to get the slope rise over run. So what is slope here? M equals to y2 13 minus y1 3 by x2 3 minus of -2. That equals to m equals to, this is going to be plus 13 minus 3 is 10, 3 plus 2 is 5, 5 ones, 5 twos. Slope equals to 2. And what do we need? What is the y coordinate of the y intercept of the line? We need y intercept of the line. So what do we do here? We use point slope form. What is point slope form? Y minus y1 equals to m into x minus x1. They are asking us to get the equation of line. So now what do we do? In the place of slope, I just substituted 2 in the place of slope. And take any point, maybe 3 or 13, whatever. Even if you take here, they took this second point. Let's take the first point, -2, 3. So at -2, 3, here what we are doing is y minus y1, x1, y1. y1 is 3, that equals to x minus of -2. So that's going to be how much? Y minus 3 equals to 2 into x plus 2. Y minus 3 equals to 2x plus 4. So y equals to 2x plus 4 plus 3. Y equals to 2x plus 7. We got the equation of the line. Same. So now, what is the main thing? We have to get the line equation which is passing through these 2 points. Why do we need to find this line equation? Why do we need to find line equation? Because we need y coordinate of the y intercept. Y coordinate of the y intercept means what? At y intercept, x value equals to 0. X value equals to 0, which means y equals to 2 into 0 plus 7, then y equals to 7. This is the y coordinate of the y intercept. We found this equation because we need y intercept of that line. The same line, this line is passing through these 2 points, and the same line is passing through, if I draw like this, The same line is passing through y-intercept. What is the y-intercept it is passing through? That is the question. So to find the y-intercept, you need to know the line. To know the line, there are two ways. One is slope-intercept form, one is point-slope form. But here, they're given points. When they're given points, we use point-slope form because we have a point in hand, any point. You can use this first point or you can use second point. And because they mention 2 points, with the help of 2 points, you get a slope. You have a slope, you have a point. Using point and slope, using point and slope in the point-slope form equation, you get a equation of the line, what they are talking about. Now, after getting that, you get a y-coordinate of the y-intercept. If you have a line equation, you get the y-intercept, which is y equals to 7. Okay, just check this how I solved it. Is that okay? Let me know if that is fine. I just tell you one time why we are solving in this way, because they given 2 points on a line and they are asking us to point. This line is cutting the y-axis at certain point, and what is that y-coordinate where it is cutting? That is the question. You want to find this point. They given only 2 points. They are asking us to find this point. How can we get this point y-coordinate? So we have 2 points. With the help of these 2 points, we find slope and take any point, this point or this point, substitute in the slope point-slope form, because we have a point, we have a slope. Using point-slope form, we got equation. Why do you need equation? If you have an equation of line, then you can get the y-coordinate. How? Because in y-coordinate x equals to 0, substituting x equals to 0, you get y-intercept. At y-intercept x equal to 0. Is that clear now at least? At y-intercept x equals to 0, so just substituting in the place of x equals to 0, we got this. Let me know if this is okay. Just type okay. I'll move to the next question. There was no lag now, right? Okay. So this is how we have to solve, mister. Hope you understood why we found the equation and then we got to this place. Now the thing is about parallel lines. So what do we know about parallel lines? Parallel lines have same slope and perpendicular lines have -1 as their slope. If you find the slope of this one, let's go for the parallel lines. Same slope will be there for parallel lines. Why? Because if you draw one line like this and another line like this, you find that the slope is same, because both lines are moving for every 2 units up, the line moving 1 unit right. For every 2 units up, it moving right side 1 unit. The rise and run are same for parallel lines. Parallel lines mean they are exactly moving like this. If 2 lines have same slope, they rise and run at same rate, which means they will never meet no matter how far they extend. Their directions are identical. So for parallel lines, the main theme is their slopes are same. If you just take any 2 parallel lines and check their slope must be equal. If the slopes are not equal, they are not parallel. We just got to know by a common thing, just keep on checking with certain parallel lines, their slopes are keep on equal. That's it, nothing else. There is no much story behind it. Now coming to perpendicular lines. How here for perpendicular lines, you see product of the perpendicular lines, M is nothing but line 1 slope. M1 is nothing but line 1 slope. This is the line 1 slope, M1, and this is the M2 slope. Product of those slopes is equal to -1. So let me tell you the story behind this. So let's say we have two equations like this. Let's say we have line 1, line 2. Line 1 equals to y equals to 2x, line 2 equals to -1 by 2x, and you can see clearly the slope of line 1 is 2 and the slope of line 2 is -1 by 2. If you multiply the slopes, you are getting -1 as their product of slopes. So how come this product of slopes we got to know? Here actually, if the lines are perpendicular, then their product of slopes is -1. This is the actual statement. So here how do we do is y equal to 2x, y equal to -1 by 2x. What we do is we input x value as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, and we input x value -1, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. We are inputting x value of this into the line 1 and into the line 2. If you input x equals to -2, what do you get? 2 into -2, -4. If you input -1, you get -2. If you input 0, you get 0. In the same way you do it for, if you input 1 into this one, you get -1 by 2, which is 0.5. We just took certain x values and we input here, and now this x and this y value we will put into the graph, and what do we get? If you input these values to -2, 3 and all, you can see here what we got here, 1, 2, which is x is 1, y is 2, 2, 4, x is 2, y is 4. Here you got, we drew a line like this. Similarly, we drew a line for x and y value of this. We got a line like this, green color line, for the second equation, and you can see clearly these lines are perpendicular, and if two lines meet, if they meet at right angles, you can see clearly the angle between them is 90 degrees. If they are perpendicular, then their slopes are -1. We just got to know about this by watching few same lines. When they meet, we just observed a pattern. Two lines are meeting and we just saw a pattern in between the slopes. The slopes is always product. If you got a slope 2, then the other slope is reciprocal of negative reciprocal of it. We observed this thing in many perpendicular lines which they are meeting at a point, and we saw an observation that their slope of one line is equals to the negative reciprocal of other slope. This is the thing we watched in many graphs, and we got to a conclusion that after watching the pattern in most of the graphs, we got to this conclusion that product of slopes equals to -1. Hope you got it. Now line M has a slope 2 by 3. The given slope passes through this point in the xy plane, and line N perpendicular to, let me draw this. So they are saying that, let's say this is line M randomly, and then it's passing through a point 4, 3. It's passing through a point, let's say this is 4, 3, line M. Line N perpendicular to line M, okay, and passing through the same point 4, 3, which means the line N is passing through the same point 4, 3, and it is perpendicular. Which equation defines line N? Line N. We need to find the line N equation. What line N equation? Line N equation, slope must be same. I mean, sorry, not if slope of first one, M equals to slope of line M equals to 2 by 3 they given. Now slope of line N equals to negative reciprocal of slope this, or else if you can't write directly like this, you need to remember slope of product of slopes is -1. One slope is 2 by 3 and M2 equals to -1. Just shift this to RHS. It will become reciprocal. That's going to be -1 into 3 by 2. That is -3 by 2. So the N line slope is, this is slope of N. Just check the options which has the slope N -3 by 2. Negative all of them except option -3 by 2. So if that is the case, you need to use the point. It is passing through the point 4, 3. So you have a point and you have a slope now to get the equation. You have a point. What is the point? 4, 3. And what is the slope you have? M -3 by 2. Point and slope. When you have a point and slope, use point slope form. Point slope form to get the equation of the line. So what is point slope form? Y minus y1 equals to m into x minus x1. So what is this? x1, y1. Now y minus y1 is 3, m equals to -3 by 2 and x minus x1 is 4. So just substituted into the point slope form. Y minus 3, that equals to, 2 into, I just sent this 2 to LHS, and then -3x minus 4. 2y minus 6, that equals to -3x positive 12. And then we just need what? Things in options are all in y. So we just need y in LHS. So 2y equals to -3x plus, one second, -3x, and I think we have to show the slope -3 by 2 only. At the end again it happens same. Okay, fine, we can continue. 12 plus 6, because if you forward this you get that. So that's going to be 2y equals to -3x plus 18, and again y equals to, send this to RHS, -3 by 2x plus 18 by 2 is 9 directly. Or instead of that, from here what you can solve is y minus 3 equals to -3x 3 by 2x minus of minus plus 3 by 2 into 4, and this -3 will become plus 4. So wait, let me write that in the next step. So y minus 3 equals to -3 by 2x plus 2 ones to 2, so 6. So y equals to -3 by 2x plus 6 plus 3. So y equals to -3 by 2 plus 3 by 2x plus 9. So whatever it is, I just did a bit more steps here. You can continue from this one as well, no problem. So here we got option. We have a y-intercept 9. So and there is 2 y-intercepts 9. Here 3 and 6. No, that's not an options. Obviously we eliminated this because the slope is -2 by 3, but actual slope is -3 by 2. So option D. And final thing, we already discussed about this. It's about horizontal and vertical line of equations. If x equals to 3, like every point on the line has an x coordinate of 3. You see, x equals to 3 means this is the x equals to 3 line. This is how we draw a x equals to 3 line, and it is a vertical line. The equation of vertical line that passes through this is x equals to 3, which is 3, 0. And if it is horizontal line, it is on the y axis. This is how it looks like, y equals to 3. And every point on the line is 3 here. There is no change. That's it. This is the thing all about lines and linear relationships concept. And tomorrow the next class we can discuss about exercise 6.1 freshly. Let's stop as of now. Just a second. Yeah, let's leave for today here. Bye bye. See you.